All right, everybody, welcome here for another AMA at the Bonus Round Lounge. Today we have a project. I talked very long time already with the team. The project called Fennec. Yeah, we we always try to like get that AMA here sorted. Now it's happening finally. What is
Yeah.
Fennec? So Fennec is a decentralized peer-to-peer digital currency. Actually, they want to do a blockchain, or they have already a blockchain live, but they take things slowly, and it's going to be over the next years up and coming. I mean, you know how it is. Take things slowly and don't rush things. Everything will be pay off. So, yeah, we have Dango here. I don't know. You want to be Dango Mango? You want to be Dango? You want to be Mango?
Yeah,
Up
no,
to
no,
you.
no. Dango works. That's all good. We'll go by the first
Uh,
name, I guess. It's no problem.
Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Welcome again. And yeah, before we start really with what is Fennec all about, maybe just give us introduction about yourself and about your team. What's your roles? What's your jobs?
Yeah, sure. I'm from Florida and I have been in crypto since about 2017 or so. From the last bull run, I kind of caught wind of everything that was going on within the space and, got really interested. If anybody remembers using Bittrex, it was like one of the larger exchanges back then. I remember, Binance was just getting started. BNB was like 10 cents. It's kind of a crazy thought these days. It was a cool time, and I got interested in things, and then I kind of phased out of the market around 2019. Came back about a year and a half later when I noticed that there was some action coming back into the space, and through BSC and Ethereum, I was just kind of a retail investor, speculator, things like that, and I came across this proof of work cryptocurrency. For those of you that aren't really with the terminology, it's essentially like Ethereum was or like Bitcoin still is, where you mine the coin over time, and these sort of projects where they're proof of work instead of smart contract token derivatives on the Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum, etc. They tend to have a longer lifespan, slower and steadier growth. If you're really interested in building a community and not having extremely volatile price action overnight, followed by a project of the community that's not exactly loyal, it's great to learn more about proof of work cryptocurrencies because of that slow, steady progression that they tend to make. So I heard about this proof of work coin. It was a really small time project, and they connected me with some coding development things like that. I just had to kind of learn on my end. I have a light background in sales. I tend to take pride in the fact that I feel good about the way that I communicate and things like that. And networking online was never a huge problem. So when I heard about the fact that there were these opportunities available, I realized that I could do something somewhat unique within the space. Kind of merge the people that are on the Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum networks with the token derivatives, maybe get them, into something that has a little more life to it, a little bit more. And that's nothing against any other project at all. I mean, some of them do have really long lifespans, but something where people can kind of rest their head, find some friends that they're close with for a longer term period of time. They don't have to exactly hop around in different projects. It's kind of a hybrid of a token, some sort of a long-term coin, and then the groups, they serve as like long-term lounges because people they tend to stick around. So it's a really great concept that I liked. There's some challenges that come with it because not a lot of people are familiar with startup proof of work cryptocurrencies. But the great thing about them essentially is that they they require mining equipment to maintain the network. It's not like the token for a Binance Smart Chain token is being maintained by a BSC validator or something like that. So the community itself has to basically support the network through mining, and they get paid in block rewards or coin commission basically. And that generates value because people are investing electricity, computing equipment, things like that into the project itself. So they don't exactly get the coins for free. They don't just pop up out of thin air exactly. Things like that, back the value behind it and give it sort of a base, which I really like about the proof of work concept. And as we continue to progress, we built a group up through, different social media platforms and things like that, just kind of getting the word out, like introducing this concept to people that, there is a different niche or a different kind of, concept within crypto if they're tired of, the traditional kind of speculation or store of value vehicles. There are other things out there. This is one of the options, and a lot of people got excited about that initially. And we launched November 21st of 2022. It was a really exciting time. A lot of miners that were trying to support the network came in looking for, block rewards, coin commission, things like that, and it was, just really active at that time. Maybe about a month later, the hype kind of, balanced out, just stabilized, which was great because there's a lot to handle initially, just kind of a rush of traffic. But when things did kind of stabilize, we had a community member come in. He's got a lot of experience in mining. He kind of scans mining pool stats, which is sort of a website or a platform where they show newer coins that are coming up. He did some investigative work on the website, which we are modifying soon. It's going to look, significantly better, which is great. But he checked it out. He came in the group. He was talking to me for a while. He really liked what we had going, even though essentially we were a store of value at the time. And he was instantly looking for ways to bring value to the project. He's basically my partner at this point, and we have agreements, like a partnership agreement with what he created, which I'll get into in a moment. But just just something to take with a grain of salt. The first business that we're starting within Fennec to provide revenue for the project's liquidity, marketing, development, maintenance, community outreach, things like that, and more. Obviously there's other expenses. Those sort of things are going to be subsidized by the business that this guy, his name's Mining Trucker, that he is creating, and it's known as Fennec Productions Inc. So he basically saw the concept. I liked the fact that proof of work coins had a little more lifespan to them, but I also wanted that a little bit of that meme appeal, like a little bit of that mass appeal. We wanted the logo to look respectable, not too cutesy and memey, but it's kind of like a reference to the Fennec fox, which is like an African fox. They get like 5 or 6 pounds. They're like the smallest fox in the world. They look really cute, and some of them look really really interesting. Like, it's just kind of a cool species. So I saw that. I recognized that nobody really went with that concept in the meme coin space for that animal. And I was like, well, this would be great, and so he saw that. He did some background research on the animal, and he was like, hey, given the fact that it is this kind of a creature, I could probably get a couple of my friends to pool some cash together, and I want to create a children's book company, sell apparel, Kindle books, get it integrated on Amazon, maybe in the future, potentially get like a cartoonist to, get some motion pictures of these characters, and make like TikTok videos with jokes and things like that, because that algorithm just, if you have good content, you tend to get a lot of people's attention on there rather quickly. And then, they're talking about Etsy for products and Pinterest to get little, comic strips and things like that, or memes on there, or just jokes, like your typical comic book strips in the newspaper. He's just always looking to expand, always looking at new things to do. He's very experienced in the business world. He started several successful businesses, kind of sold them, moved on to the next thing, done really well. And so he was just excited for the opportunity to kind of bring that to the table. And so additionally, because we're in the United States, we wanted everything by the books, because the government's a little bit strict about the way things are ran. So we established Fennec Foundation, which is kind of a representation of the blockchain itself. It's a legitimate nonprofit organization that basically got conceived about 2.5, 3 months ago. Things are still getting finished up in that regard. We've got accounts set and all sorts of things, so that's legitimized. And so when Fennec Productions Inc. starts creating products starting August 1st, everything's going to be released. The website's going to be launched. They've got the first 2 or 3 books out, a couple different plush toys and sort of memorabilia for the brand. They're going to be contributing 10% of their net profits to the foundation, which is what the blockchain is going to use. And then personally, the blockchain foundation is going to be donating 10% of that donation, kind of over again to Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is great. They have, children, within the U.S. or around the world that they may have some sort of terminal illness, they might have some sort of major dilemma in their life, and they have these aspirations to either meet celebrities or go visit certain places in the world. Just kind of like a bucket list ordeal, and Make a Wish Foundation kind of fulfills those wishes, and that's kind of where they came up with the name, I think. So that gives us a charitable cause and some sort of legitimacy backing, things like that, which is awesome. And like I said, the rest of the revenue is great because if we don't need it for server maintenance, because unlike most BSC or Ethereum tokens, you what's it called? You need to pay for your own servers, your own security, because it is its own blockchain. So that makes it interesting, but it makes it not super costly, but it's just an expense. So we've got that covered. We have a slight budget for marketing. We have if we have any leftover budget, we're going to pair that with liquidity to strengthen the liquidity on our 3 new trading pairs, which are coming up for 3 of the most popular EVM networks, which I'm excited to get into in a minute. And then additionally, we can pair liquidity on some of our smaller exchanges with the native chain coin so that the order book is just a little bit thicker, volatility won't be as extreme, and additionally, people looking at the project, either looking for an entrance or an exit, they're just going to have a much easier time, getting a reasonable situation for themselves. So, I love all that. And additionally, let me think. So we got maintenance, development. We're integrating, master nodes on the network for scalability and security as we climb up. That's going to get a lot more people interested because it kind of creates the chase to secure enough collateral to create your own master node. If anybody has questions about that, I'd be happy to get into it. But I kind of went on a little bit of a rant. I'm sure there's plenty of questions you guys got just in regards to what I was saying. So I want to, take a breath or two, let you guys, ask whatever you're curious about in regards to what I was discussing, and then, hopefully we can get into a little bit more of the details about Fennec Productions Inc., its potential, and how we're integrating it with our project, and getting that to be a clear message that people can understand, because I know it's sort of a new concept for people. Profit sharing businesses. Where's the connection between children's book, apparel, merch, and like a proof of work blockchain? What's up with that? So in a lot of ways, interesting. And no, I mean, I just I guess any kind of questions you guys got so far, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I mean, I like when people talk, and I don't need to ask so many questions, so it's always good. But
Yeah,
of
sure.
course, always good to ask something in between. So since you're running, like, I mean, it's your own blockchain, and you never launch like on another, like, let's just say blockchain, your own token. So how do I get that like accessible for people? Like, how do I buy it? I think that's what people always need to know. How do I buy a Fennec token, or can I
Yeah,
just earn
right,
it with
right.
anything?
So I guess, and just a heads up, I've got a like a Bluetooth headset in, and the battery was just running a little bit low. I was kind of running around doing a few things today with them on. So I might transfer it to my speakerphone in a minute. So if there's just a short pause, I'll be right back. But additionally, getting Fennec coin, it's a little bit different because I think that by definition within crypto, like a token is kind of a like a derivative, or an extra layer on like a smart contract chain like Ethereum or BSC. And then a coin is something with like its own native chain, typically proof of work, typically independent networks. So it's not a huge deal, but I love the fact that I can differentiate, call it a coin. It's something that distinguishes it from the rest in a sense. But getting a Fennec coin, or a stack of coins. Right now, we're currently on a couple small centralized exchanges that are well known within the proof of work community for startups and things like that. They're decent exchanges. I like them. They have some of them have great features that allow people to make trading simpler, passive income, things like that. ZegX and TXBit are probably our 2 largest exchanges, and then we got a free listing from a Korean exchange known as Bit1X. All that's in our chat. You can type /exchanges, check out our charts, our volume, things like that. We like slow and steady growth, so things don't look super crazy, but if you look at the history, it's definitely consistent, it's linear, and that's what we love. So, this was an effort to reach out to a little bit bigger of a community, see if we can gradually, scale up again without things getting too crazy. So I really appreciate you guys hosting me again. But if you make an account on ZegX or TXBit, you can deposit whatever your favorite crypto is or whatever you're holding. You can sell that for Tether or USDT, and then you hop over to the Fennec USDT pair, and you can either set a bid or you can buy an ask order. So it's like setting a buy order or buying a sell order. It's a little confusing at first, but if you guys have experience using central exchanges to convert Bitcoin to Ethereum or Bitcoin to BNB, it's really similar, but only the difference is that for those larger blue chip coins, a lot of the time, um, the order book is moving very rapidly, so you just set a market price and it fills instantly. In this case, there's a little bit of a spread, so you'll see a 25 to maybe even like 30% spread on what people are willing to sell Fennec for and what people are willing to buy Fennec for. And as volume increases, that spread gets tighter. So in the coming months, it'll be much easier. But I would recommend checking that out, seeing if you can set a bid, getting a decent entry in that regard. And if not, then you can wait until we're launched on. We're gonna have token derivatives and a bridge, so people can redeem Fennec tokens on the Ethereum blockchain or Binance Smart Chain or Arbitrum for the actual native chain Fennec coin, if you prefer to store it that way on one of our wallets, or you can store Fennec tokens on like a MetaMask or a Trust wallet or anything like that, as long as you have the proper network integrated on the wallet, like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with these networks. That's why we chose them. We're going to be on some of the most popular dexes with the most potential to have people pair liquidity, trading, and things like that. So we are looking for a little bit more ease of accessibility for people. But I would say that, in the coming months, we might, develop a budget for further marketing, further production, further progress, things like that. So, I always recommend, and for the sake of the order books, you can hop on these smaller exchanges, kind of help set a stable sort of floor with the order books and things like that, and you're likely to get a much better entry than when we're live on those networks because you're going to be kind of competing with more people to get an entry, just because it's so much easier to get on there. But we like that because ease of accessibility is always important in crypto. I've talked to many people, many old friends through crypto, and they're like, well, how do I get Fennec coin? When is it going to be on a DEX or a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or PancakeSwap? I don't mind if I have a slightly different entry. I just want to have that ease of access, not have to get a new wallet to store the coins or the tokens. And in that case, you're more than welcome to kind of wait till the 3 EVM chain integrations are live and the bridge, and we're likely to produce some kind of a video tutorial on how to bridge Fennec coins into tokens if you'd like to store them that way, and vice versa, so that you're able to kind of interchange those as you wish. So yeah, I guess that's the long-winded story of how you can get yourself some Fennec.
Awesome. I made it also easy now. I posted the charts for everybody up, and one guy, I think Michael, was posting all the links where you can buy it if you want to make an account there. As far as I'm not a big fan of centralized exchanges, of course, but
Right.
it do its thing, I mean, you can buy and trade there, so that's no problem. But I'm
Right.
really guessing that you get more accessibility when you launch on other blockchains, or you have a migration or a swap over, and people can swap it there, and it will also attract projects, I think, which are launching on your chain in the future. So
Well, just to be clear, we're a Bitcoin fork, so the code base is
okay.
derived from the latest version of Bitcoin. We might be able to integrate the BRC concept that was released for Bitcoin recently. It's going to take a little bit of a budget, a little bit of time, but potentially we could get smart contract integration on the chain. It would be a big upgrade. I wouldn't say it's in the foreseeable future. Maybe sometime by like next year or a year and a half from now. We're looking really long term with this kind of stuff. If that's exciting to you guys, it's good. We'd love to have you. But at the same time, yeah, we're gonna have token derivatives and then the main chain coin that's essentially a store of value. We've got partnerships with a guy, just speaking on this stuff like functionality and things like that within smart contract topics and things of that nature. Like Gambler Shiba is another considerable project, and Lakeview Meta, a little bit bigger. They both do kind of like metaverse, gamified speculation and betting, and play to earn kind of games. They had kind of a game like Call of Duty or Halo where you compete with other players and there's bounties to earn coins if you do win, and we kind of sponsor those so that people can get playing, have some fun. There's other ways that coins kind of rotate through the contracts. So as long as we're on the Binance Smart Chain or Arbitrum, we're going to get our tokenized Fennec integrated on those gamified platforms. And then we've got some community members talking about dice rolling games. We've got another friend, within this voice chat who was discussing potentially we could get integrated on their Bitcoin price predictions platform so that people can set wagers in Fennec token in order to potentially either double their wager, or if they lose the bet, they lose the bet. So basically, it's like a game where you bet whether or not Bitcoin's price is going to go up or down from a locked price. And basically, it's a 5-minute window. So you can bet on which way the Bitcoin's going to move, and see if you're going to be lucky that day. So we're looking at different integrations and things like that, but it's definitely exciting, and hopefully we can get that BRC kind of smart contract integration in the future. I know they got NFTs on BRC these days. That would be a fun kind of niche for us, for sure.
Take your time, I mean, it also just started there, so definitely need some time also to develop that. But yeah, I wondered why the guys from Lakeview entered here. So, but
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I know. So that's
yeah, yeah.
good. I know the project, and it's very very good looking as well.
Awesome.
I'm here on your website. It looks like really really awesome. Like your block
Yeah,
explorer with dark view. It's nice.
appreciate it, man.
It's
Yeah,
different. Very good job, and
yeah,
very nice. I like your mining page also, like how to mine everything.
yeah,
Can everybody just mine from his house, or do I need to like buy new
yeah.
stuff
No,
for my computer now?
you're very likely to be able to, because the algorithm that we use is called YesCryptR16. We kind of set it up so that it's mineable with a CPU or a GPU. These are kind of like different computer parts. A lot of computers at least have a basic CPU on them. The gaming computers are more likely to have high functioning GPUs. But these two different kind of chips, we set a preference for CPU mining. So the algorithm prefers and gives a little bit more of a proportionate reward or disproportionate reward to CPU miners. So that basically allows us to have a little bit of a wider community of miners, because almost anybody can calibrate their computer to the network and get mining, just let it run through the day. You don't get a ton of block rewards because CPUs aren't the most powerful computers, but if you just leave it running, for a couple weeks or months, there's something to be said for just chipping away every day at something and working at it. You can definitely accumulate a decent amount of Fennec, and for the electricity cost, you actually are going to save money and get a better entry on each Fennec that you do mine. So with a GPU, it's a little bit superior of computer equipment, but it's not as efficient. You can yield more coins on a given day, but your electricity cost is going to be, I would say, if I were to guess, about like 30-40% higher, perhaps. So it's a decent difference. And we did that on purpose to get a little more reach, a little more widespread appeal to the average person, instead of having these massive ASIC mining farms like they have with Bitcoin, these kind of computers that are made specifically to mine Bitcoin. And they just overpower the network. Nobody in a typical setting without expensive mining equipment can mine Bitcoin anymore. It was never how it was intended, but people just develop these computers and they do their thing. Yes, CryptR16 is kind of built to prevent small parties from centralizing the distribution of the supply to excess. This kind of allows for more decentralization, more mass appeal, better distribution, things like that. So we take pride in that for sure. ASIC resistant algorithms are definitely a good thing. We got another proof of work coin that I've heard of called Caspa. It got really big because it was ASIC resistant, and because it just had a really successful run and the algorithm wasn't really set up perfectly to be ASIC resistant. Somebody developed an ASIC computer system, and there's multiple different types now. So mine, unfortunately, it's getting a little centralized, but Yes Script R16 kind of stands out in the sense that it's a lot less likely to have those sort of developments hinder the even distribution of the coins. So pretty much anybody can mine it. Yeah.
Good. Let me tell you, I'm gonna try that soon. Probably not this week, but
Cool.
maybe next week. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
your instruction, which is very good written, but I just can't do it now during the voice chat. It just takes too much reading. But
Dude, no,
I
you're
have
fine. You're fine.
I have solar panels now on the roof, so I don't mind the electric, so all good.
True, true. And I want to mention as well, we're updating the website within the month, so it's aesthetically going to look much different. We're hoping to resemble the Block Explorer, the mining pool, kind of like the mining tutorial. We're going for like a little bit more modern and aesthetic of a look, a little more organized on the first site on the home page. But we're going to tighten up the edges and things like that, make it look really nice, and add a little bit of updated information. I've been keeping up to date on Twitter, on Reddit. We have a smaller community on Reddit, but I like to send the tweets over there too, so most of them are on there. But if you check our Twitter, you can get the most up-to-date stuff. We're doing a massive overhaul on the website so that everything's backed up to date with all our new integrations, all our new partnerships, things like that. So we're really excited about that too. So anybody checking out the site right now, it's a little bit of a teaser of the actual value proposition that we've got going on. It's a good start, but we're ready to deliver a little bit more comprehensive of a message and a concept. So yeah, it's great. Feel free to check the site.
Oh,
And I love the Block
yeah,
Explorer. That was our coder that did that.
it's really good, especially you use a dark page. Everybody's using like white and light, and it's
Right.
nobody actually likes to see it. Like all my apps like Telegram, everything is dark. I really hate the light ones. And it's also better
Oh
for
yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, I use I
Um,
use dark mode on everything. I love going a little bit easier on the eyes. You and me get it because we got a lot of screen time. You know what I mean? It's just better to
yeah,
have dark mode for sure.
exactly. Okay, you have your own wallet already, also web wallet. Is it also an app or
Yeah.
is it just for the browser?
So we've got an app for Android. It's on the same server as the website, Web Wallet, um, but it's a little more accessible for people that just want easier of an interface. Hey, can you guys still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I was my headset just died, so I'm on the speaker now. But yeah, we've got the Android app. The iOS app is just going to require a little bit more of a budget, but we're excited to do that. Our developers perfectly capable of integrating that, and so we're gonna have an iOS app probably in the next like 6 to 9 months for even easier accessibility, a little more mass appeal for the native chain coin. Even though plenty of people will have the tokens on MetaMask, things like that. But then we've got the web wallet, which is like a typical URL or a typical website. You just use an email address and a password that you like, get a little bit of two-factor authentication in there to authorize withdrawals. You can deposit without 2FA, but if you want to withdraw, you got to set up like a two-factor authentication. So I tell everybody, write down your email, your password, and print out the QR code of your two-factor authentication, or just write down the letter string and the number string that backs up your 2FA. You can put that on a thumb drive or a flash drive, kind of lock it away, keep it safe. A lot of people in Fennec, they like to, take a position, set it and forget it because they know it's a longer term thing. So if you're doing that, I would just say it's really good to, write this stuff down or burn it on some sort of a drive so that you don't forget your login details, because nothing's worse than, just forgetting a username or a password and, essentially getting, separated from your holding. So we've got that, and we've got a GUI core wallet, which is a little more, I guess, a little more comprehensive. We just updated it too. It's got all our social links as like buttons. So if you want to just browse our different platforms, you're free to do that from the GUI core wallet app. A lot of people have the older version, but I'm going to try to make a tutorial to help them update that as well. It's really nice looking. And, additionally, it serves as a node for the network. So it syncs all of the old blocks, the whole blockchain history. Doesn't take up really any kind of space on the computer, maybe a little bit, but then the wallet is helping validate the network as long as it's running. And it also gives you like a private key so that you can back up your private key and that enables you to essentially go to our GitHub or our website. Let's say your computer breaks or your house burns down and you've got that private key saved somewhere. You can basically download the GUI wallet app. You can import your private key, same way as MetaMask, essentially, with slightly different commands. And then you can, access your coins again on a completely different computer. So just like with MetaMask, just like with Trust Wallet, you never want to share your private keys, but it's great to back them up, keep them somewhere safe. So we've got the web wallet, the GUI core wallet, and we've got the Android wallet app, and we're looking forward to getting the iOS app soon.
And I need that wallet for my Fennec, or can I use also like MetaMask and I can put your data inside? It's a custom.
Well, the thing is, we're going to be live on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Arbitrum likely within 2 months at the latest. So at that point, you can buy Fennec tokens instead of the native coin, and those can be stored on MetaMask or Trust Wallet, no problem. So if you don't want to accumulate a little bit earlier, if you don't want to have to worry about the hassle of storing the coins, it's not like we're going to have an extremely hyped launch when we get these token derivatives out, because we like that steady progression. We want committed, interested, devoted community members. So for us to put out some calls the day of the launch, we get a bunch of moon boys in that are trying to just pump the price and exit. We don't really want that. So, the entry is not going to be, extremely different. It might be, somewhat different, but at the same time, we're looking at that steady progression, that linear progression. So if you purchase Fennec on one of our EVM networks when those are live, you're free to store them on MetaMask or Trust Wallet, just like any other token.
Fennec production just entered also. Hello.
What was that?
Fennec production, I did also. I unmuted him also. So if you want to say something, but yeah. Let me ask you something. I mean, you're like around for almost a year. You're
Right.
launching the DeFi token in September, which is cutting it close to also a year. Utility is live. How do you guys create money to make everything what you want true? I mean, you're not like a DeFi token which is having like a development tax or something. So is it all funded by yourself right now, or?
We had basically set a pre-mine, which is where you generate a percentage of the coins before the launch is live. So with Bitcoin, they didn't do that. They just had people mining it because it was an experiment. With something like Fennec, we had a budget for the project, but we also were looking to raise some funds, distribute the coins, establish a floor with people that were committed to the project. So, we did a pre-mine. It was intended to reduce the block rewards for mining so that we didn't have as much selling pressure during development phases, because we knew this was going to be a little bit of a long time coming to get businesses developed, to get different development integrations and things like that. So it provided a stronger floor. It provided a lot of benefits to the network for the first couple months, and even still I would say that it's benefiting us greatly. But at the same time, I'm trying to remember the question exactly. So we did it for fundraising as well. So we had kind of a peer-to-peer sale event, which was similar to a pre-sale in one sense, but at the same time it was it was all done peer-to-peer. It wasn't automated. So we distributed a handful of the coins. We had some fundraising for exchanges, a little bit of liquidity, really small bit of marketing just to get a little bit of reach beyond what we were doing already on a peer-to-peer basis. And that also paid for our maintenance for the servers for about a year and a half or so. And then with Fennec Productions Inc., we're going to have some sort of profit sharing mechanism, like I mentioned before, where they're going to be contributing a percentage of profits toward the blockchain foundation, or the entity that represents Fennec blockchain, the coin. And then we're also going to be on those 3 EVM networks. We're issuing a 3% liquidity tax to build the liquidity pool stronger. And then we're implementing a 2% marketing and development tax in order to fund maintenance, potential promotion down the road as needed, very conservative, very selective of who we choose to work with and things like that. But at the same time, that will sustain us a little bit in addition to the profit sharing with the business. So we've got multiple streams of revenue in that sense to kind of rise the floor. give people a little bit of a sense of security in the project long term. Regardless of volatility, there will always be volume that is helping fuel development, fuel liquidity pool expansion, things like that. Let me think. So yeah, those taxes on those three chains, I think once we get them integrated, a lot of people are likely to be buying up the tokens on those three chains. We're probably going to see the most volume there. So that's a source of revenue. And then additionally, I do a little bit of work on my own to try to reduce costs for different sort of ordeals. And we've got a handful of guys that are helping us out too in terms of web development. We've got some admins that are really experienced with that are just happy to help. So the more we network, the more we find people that are just genuinely interested in the progression of the project. This is the same thing with our partnerships with Lakeview Meta, Gambler Shiva, all sorts of different projects. There's probably at least a small handful that aren't as closely tied, but that are still affiliated with us that we're happy to be close with. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, we've got some sort of revenue in that regard. And then additionally, from the pre-mine, we reserved a percentage of the coin supply to allow Fennec Productions Inc. to have Fennec coins to trade with their clients, so that if they choose to accumulate Fennec or use it to purchase their products, because Fennec is going to be payable in that regard on their platform, they're going to have some spare coins to do that. Then we've got a wallet set for airdrops. Once we've developed a little bit further and those coins can take us a little farther in terms of production, we've got kind of a budget set up for airdrops and things like that to the people that are actually truly committed and engaged. And if we just want to reward them for that, we've got something in place for that. We've got a centralized exchange listing treasury, which we're not going to be touching for a long time, but at the same time, it should be sufficient to get us on some of the bigger name exchanges in the future. So we're also not exactly fans of centralized exchanges. You don't want to store your Fennec on there. If it's not your keys, it's not your coins, essentially. I love that motto. So I don't like to store stuff on centralized exchanges, but with the proof of work coins, trading on the native chain, it's kind of the easiest way to get people to be able to transact Fennec with one another. So we are looking into that. We do have a budget for that. And it's going to be essentially, actualized. It's going to actually become a true budget as we grow. So as we scale up, more things become a lot more possible. We kind of put aside that budget in order to finance these things in the future when we've got a little bit more traction, a stronger community, more momentum. We think all that stuff's essentially going to be coming with time, because we're just chipping away every day. We're getting 20, 30 members a week the last couple of weeks. You do that for a year and you got a real group with you.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yuri. I'm also known as Mining Trucker. I came to the Fennec project early enough to be one of the first purchasers of the coin. Since then, I got involved with the Fennec production. Basically, Fennec production was made as a business that will provide real-life use case for the Fennec coin. We produce souvenirs, we produce apparel, we produce kids' toys based on the Fennec inspiration, and our main business is publishing of children's books. The main hero is Toby the Fennec, and it's basically books that are oriented on the children from age of 5 to 13, 14 years old. In all these products can be purchased with a Fennec with a significant discount, and it provides the value in the matter in the aspect of usability of the Fennec to actually purchase real life goods. And one of the revenues that we anticipate in the future, our website launching August 1st, we just had a pre-sale of the first book that we've published. And one of the agreements is that we will be actually providing 10% of our gross revenues to Fennec blockchain or Fennec Foundation. That is entity that is administering the community development fund for Fennec and pretty much is responsible for covering the existence cost for the Fennec blockchain. Uh, our anticipation is that within the next year, we will grow the real life demand of the coins to anywhere from 500 to 750,000 coins a month. And we do not expect to actually hold this Fennec and accumulate this Fennec. We actually have an agreement to release it back to into the liquidity at whatever the current market price will be through the Fennec Foundation. An agreement with the Fennec Foundation also has a little charitable portion built into it. 10% of our contribution will actually go to Make-A-Wish Foundation for children to actually realize whatever the dream they have. It's usually terminally ill children, so I just wanted to interject that. Thank you very much. And I'm ready to answer whatever questions you have about Fennec production.
Awesome. Thank you, Yuri. Yeah, actually, let me just post up the link here. I saw that in your profile. Let me post it out. So it goes live in August,
August
right?
1st. August 1st, yes.
So in...
Yeah. And the website is fennecproduction.com.
Yeah, I just posted. Let me just pin it also. I posted also old videos we still have in our chat, Dango, from the hats, from the shirt. Like I said earlier, this is, I think, one of the coolest logo I ever saw. It's good. It's aggressive, not too much, and it's just stylish. You know, it looks like really good on the head. So it looks like you're ready to like conquer the space. You know, so so. Yeah, I like the fact kids books is great. I mean, where to get money better than from kids is good. I wanted to buy actually the book already, but it wasn't live yet. So
no, actually, book is actually purchasable. We do not have Amazon will be releasing our books on August 1st in the regular edition, which is significantly less expensive.
Yeah.
But the collector's edition is already out. It's a very nice print. People who got it, actually, we had nothing but good reviews on the quality of the print, quality of the illustrations. And that edition, collector's edition, is available, but the quantity is limited. We initially set on publishing only 1,000 copies that will never be reprinted. They have their own ISBN number. So it's true collectible value. Some of the customers who actually bought it still debating whether or not to break a seal on the package, considering that it might have a good collectible value in the future.
Maybe just buy two, you know, one to open and one to keep.
That's what I did.
I had that from my wife. She bought shoes, and then she was wearing it, and now she told me the shoes is actually 3 times of the value when she bought it. And I said, "Yeah, well, it's your own fault when you wear limited edition shoes. You know, you don't do that." but yeah, you know, buy 2 books. I probably will.
But yeah, actually, the book is already printed. It's available. It has a very nice glossy cover with the UV coating. Has nice illustration in it. Pretty large format. I don't know whether or not you guys can see this, but yeah, the book is available.
Yeah. Who drew that? Who drew the art of it?
We actually hired a very young talented animator by trade. She is specifically designing all the illustrations in the style of like 80s, 90s, the children books. And we hired her because we expect eventually to start making like mini cartoons and releasing them on the YouTube to popularize this series. So she is capable of transitioning from illustration to animation.
That's good.
Very talented young girl. This is actually her self avatar that she drew.
Nice, nice.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I like that, you know, and the fact that you give also like back with giving revenue also to the Make a Wish Foundation, which is good, you know, and it's like an international foundation and it's so famous, you know, so it's gonna help, you know. It's not like some sideline charity which nobody knows and say it's a scam, you know. Make a Wish, like everybody knows Make a Wish, I think.
Well,
So
one of the reasons why, first of all, Fennec Foundation is a non-profit organization, which means that it doesn't retain any profits or it doesn't create any profits, and any excess of it will be actually attributed to charitable organizations. And Make a Wish is well known for actually transferring money to destination, basically delivering the money to the kids that are in dire situations. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to address some real life issue and help really kids, since we're writing books for them. So part of the production that we have also will be distributed to neighborhoods where parents can't afford books and such. So like from the first limited edition, we have 50 books out of 1,000 that we will be actually distributing in the areas, in the kindergartens, through the small private chain of kindergartens in Cleveland area. We're out of Ohio, so we will be distributing to the kids that are from the families that are financially challenged. So we want really to do a little bit of a good as well.
exactly. That's good, you know. Like, I mean, Bitcoin doesn't have this. BNB doesn't have. Well, BNB have minus charity, but still, you know. So that's good. You give something back. So I like that, you know. And for everybody who wanna like maybe think about purchasing a book, I pinned the link. If you don't want to wait until the Amazon version, you can go there. It's only $35. Don't buy NFTs for $500, but complain about the book for $35 for your kid, maybe. So,
Well,
yeah.
the regular edition will be only $12.99, so it will be even less expensive.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the fact that you give back, you know, makes you like I think already special as well, you know. So that is good. You guys seem very, very like capable of doing the job here. Like we mentioned, you know, white paper is a bit small, but your website is informative already and have everything what you need to know. It looks
I
good.
would I would just like to say we're tuning up the white paper as well. So before we develop the full scope of the project, we just wanted something out there on the website. But additionally, we're modifying and expanding the white paper pretty drastically so that everybody's got a more comprehensive understanding of what the project is about, kind of a mission statement, a few of the features within the project. So it's a little bit light right now, arguably. A lot of the people that have a full understanding of the project are from Telegram and have spoken with some of the admins personally and know the full scope. But for the sake of having a better and a clearer picture for the masses, we're definitely working on the white paper again, and that should be updated with the new site. So that'll be within the month, most likely.
Awesome, perfect. Yeah, people like don't like to click around, you know. I mean, I love to click, but some people that just like look at it, glimpse. Looks good, I buy. Doesn't look good, I don't buy. You know,
Right.
how it is. All right. So let's give me a short introduction about like your road to your like next target, which is like the launch of your EVM networks. Is it really going to be like you launch from one day in another one, or are you going to do some private sales, free sales for us as well?
We are going to be working with Sphinx Labs. They're a much larger project. They're also multi-chain. They're a token derivative, though. I don't think they have a proof of work kind of a coin as their base. But essentially, we're working with them they're creating the bridge and the contracts for the 3 different EVM network tokens. And we're probably going to have a pre-sale event on a different day for each one, most likely within their community. And we'll be making social media announcements, featuring them and, getting people the links necessary to participate. And we're going to be issuing anywhere from like a 10 to a 20% discount on the fair market price for Fennec at that point, so that people, have an opportunity to show some support for raising liquidity funds, and also, getting a decent entry that they can feel good about as well. But basically, we'll probably have a pre-sale event either, 3 days in a row, or, every other day for the span of a week, so that people have a chance to, basically get on their preferred network, kind of see how things pan out. There's going to be plenty of arbitrage trading going on, because the prices will be, somewhat different from each other based on volume and activity. But again, there's going to be all sorts of arbitrage that'll, stabilize those prices across the board. There's plenty of people that are interested in that kind of thing, which, is great for us, and they've got some incentive to do it. So yeah, it's going to be likely a pre-sale event. And as the coins are mined, different people are going to choose to bridge them onto the different EVM networks. So the supply of the tokens available will increase to a certain extent, but the coin supply itself, the token supply itself, is always fixed under 21 million, no matter which chain they're on. The sum total of the total supply is always going to be a maximum of 21 million. Right now, our circulating supply is about 7.2 million. So, if we're integrating these chains within 2 months, we're going to have a 7.3 to a 7.4 million coin supply and token supply as the total sum of all units available for any kind of speculation. And they'll probably be a little bit more scarce than that, because we have a handful of people with, decent holdings that want to see this through. They phase in and out over time. And, so the coin supply will be, flowing relatively well, but they'll always be somewhat scarce compared to most other, projects, especially the meme coin projects with billions or trillions of units of coins. So that's just something to keep in mind. And yeah, so we'll have a pre-sale event with Sphinx for each individual chain, most likely. I got to schedule that with them when everything's wrapped up, but should go really smooth.
Sound fair enough. One question for this. How's like your holder count, like your holder list, like from the token? Are you not scared that somebody have so much already that he's arbitraging and dumping your pre-sale, or?
Well, we're likely to have people that arbitrage trade and that phase out somewhat gradually, because, unloading a full holding at one point for anybody that's considered, near the whale status, they're unlikely to want to hurt the chart or the price or the liquidity pool enough to, make a full exit. So those things are going to be very gradual, especially as we have that linear progression. When you look at tokens that launch on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, we all know the ones that have a 2 to 3 day shelf life at the most. The people that have early entries there, they're arguably lucky if these things succeed, but at the same time, they're so volatile and they move up or down so fast that these people basically come across new wealth or new realized profits that they really didn't have to wait for. So they're very quick to abandon the project itself. The majority of our larger holders have been around for at least 6 months, and they know most of what they're in for, I would say. At the same time, they have sort of a commitment to the project. The vast majority of people that are like that, I've at least been in touch with on a semi-consistent basis in one sense or another, just to see how they're doing, see how they're feeling and things like that. I'm big on rapport within the community, but at the same time, it's not quite as volatile. That linear progression allows for a healthy redistribution of coins as things develop further, and I'm pretty confident in that. Yeah.
Well, let me add to that. If you look at the Explorer actually shows the top 100 wallets on the Fennec, and with exclusion of technical wallets that still hold some of the pre-assigned pre-mine and the team bags, you probably have less than 20 people that have about 1% of the Fennec accumulated. the rest of the wallets, which is about 80 of top 100 wallets, vary anywhere from 0.08% to about 0.8%. So in terms of the distribution over time, it's already spread out enough for no one to be able to actually influence or arbitrage that heavily their bags into the trade. So,
and additionally, there's one last type of wallet that's out there, which are the centralized exchange wallets. Many of them will issue coins to each account on sort of a credit basis, and they have one wallet that stores the coins. And in the past, on Twitter, if you check through our feed, we've identified those wallets through the administrators of the exchanges. They provide it, without any problem. They're happy to do it because it's all about transparency. But those are kind of where the coins are stored for people that keep them on exchanges. So those wallets also are, subdivided, and it doesn't exactly show in the block explorer because as far as the blockchain itself is concerned, the coins are stored in one place. And then as people redeem them or withdraw them or deposit them, that balance changes as long as it's either coming in or off the platform. But if it's being moved within trades or stored within individual accounts, that doesn't exactly register on the block explorer. And I don't believe that it would on the EVM chain networks either. I'd have to double check that. But as far as the majority of proof of work coins are concerned on these sort of exchanges, that's kind of how it goes. So, it's left to interpretation for people to make that kind of a decision on the allocation and things like that. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in on that.
that, and additionally, I'd like to mention that probably Dango didn't emphasize it enough, but the emissions of the coins through mining and in the future through the master nodes is limited to about 1.3 million a year. That's a very scarce distribution. And one of the reasons why I believed so much, because I come from the mining background, what attracted me a lot to the Fennec was, first of all, that it's ASIC resistant. It protects the home miner from influence of big mining farms that come in and pretty much ruin any coin they want because of the capacities that they have. And second is because the distribution is so scarce, which means that every decimal of the coin that you are mining actually is destined to get a value, efficient value. And that's what attracted me to the Fennec project to begin with back in December of the last year, basically right after their inception.
Perfect. Yeah, 1% isn't that much, especially considering that these people already maybe bought it 1 year ago, and then just really want to wait and see what you're doing. It's one question. Did you guys actually ever paid yourself like some salary already, or you have like full-time jobs and you just put every minute you have inside, or would you just call yourself just like a messenger, like you made that blockchain, but you don't want to benefit from it?
If I may, I'll answer this one first. Fennec Production is a separate for-profit corporation where me and a few friends who came with me, I have a small little private investing club called Mining Trucker Club. Most of them are former truck drivers, just as myself. We came in to the Fennec project. We liked it so much that we actually decided that we're gonna utilize my former experience in marketing and advertising, and we're gonna publish children books. So instead of making money on Fennec, we invested about $100,000 worth of our own money into building a corporation, hiring the writers and illustrators, and publishing the book. So far, no, I haven't paid myself anything. I'm just expensing the money out of my pocket at this point.
And then, personally for me, I set a decent allocation for myself out of the pre-mine, for starters to hold the floor. But additionally, if the project scales up, it essentially would serve as a form of a salary if I needed to do this full time. So that was the intention. Not a single coin has been moved since launch day. Essentially, that can be verified on the Block Explorer, and we've got the majority of the team wallets verified on the website with Block Explorer links as well. You can search those addresses if you need to, just to see where they've moved, and essentially they haven't. So that can build some assurance. It's been about 8 months they've been sitting in the same place, and our intentions are linear with what we've done the past 8 months. And additionally, Fennec Productions allocation to provide liquidity for their clients or customers and things like that on the retail market. That wallet is secure. It's in one place. The coins haven't moved since the wallet was created, but one thing I would mention is that it's going to be on the new site in the next few weeks, just like the other ones. So everything's transparent, but at the same time, it's not currently on the website. So if you have any questions about Fennec Productions sort of liquidity, interchanging or ever rotating type of wallet, so that people can either deposit or purchase coins through their platform, I'd be happy to explain it, and I'm sure Mining Trucker would too if anybody had any serious questions about it. But that's going to be posted with sort of a ledger on the main site as well very soon.
Absolutely, and the purpose of this allocation is not to actually for us to benefit through it. It's just an amount of coins that we anticipate will be needed for those people who wish to save a little bit and use Fennec to purchase the products. Therefore, with the scarcity that currently exists on the market, we needed an allocation of coins that would be available for purchase at the market prices for those who actually wish to use Fennec as a payment term, as a payment method. So those actually the funds that were just set aside from the pre-mine by the agreement that was done between Fennec Foundation and Fennec Production. And these are the funds that intended to be returned into the circulation once they are used as a form of payment.
Awesome. Yeah, respect, for putting money inside for a project which you actually didn't even started, but really like it, that you really want to support there. So huge respect to this, and hopefully it's gonna pay off. Like I said, I do think like the clothes will be good with the logo, and if you get people around who really like Fennec, and it's gonna take time, but I do think it's gonna work out. So yeah. Let me see if there's more questions. Rachel asks. What did Rachel ask? Many beginners have some difficulties in fully understanding the working mechanism. Any plans to guide them in detail? I answered already. Actually, the website is really, really informative, and I think when your white paper is updated, it's going to be good as well. And here's one question. Yeah, the last one. What is your strongest advantage that you think will make your team leading compared to other blockchains, projects, Bitcoin forks out there?
Well,
oh, you can go.
Yeah, let me say it first. First of all, I came to the project as just an investor. I read on the mining stats, miningpoolstats.com about the new coin. It was called Fennec. I started researching it, and that's how I came to the project. Just as an investor, I personally purchased a purse of Fennec for myself. And as I started learning about project, when I contacted Dango first of all, and then the other guys who were involved in the development of the project, it just rang to me the bell of early crypto days when people were enthusiastic about what they're doing, about the purpose of decentralization, about purpose of adding a freedom to individuals' life. And I saw the group of people that are almost altruistic. They are so engaged with the idea of the project that they don't seek immediate personal gratification. They're working on the good of the project. That's what was happening back in the early days of crypto, and that's what I was like craving, and that's what actually drove me to the project. I really like the team. I really like the open-mindedness of the team, willingness to discuss issues, and that's when I told myself, well, if you want to be honest with yourself, put your money where your mouth is. So that's how I got involved and how the Fennec production was started. I really wanted to be a part of the project in one way or another. It was so attractive to me because of the team. I came in there because of the team.
That's great too, and I know that you're a great example of, you know, the kind of community we try to build, and additionally, you know, great communicator. I take pride in the same sort of thing. So when people have questions that are in depth, it's not too much of a challenge to answer them. So, you know, in terms of strengths, it's transparency, it's commitment and consistency. Um, by putting yourself out there over a certain span of time, your message just becomes known, you know, and we have a steady progression, right? That goal is for it to be as linear as possible, you know, on a slight incline. And that's not in terms of price, that's in terms of community development, you know, general sentiment for the community and for the future of the project and its potential value propositions, but not directly correlated to the price or speculation, as a lot of people get a little too caught up in that. You know, and Mining Trucker says it himself: if you build it, they will come. I'm a big believer in that as well. So, you know, I take pride in that aspect of, you know, what the admins and what I stand for, what my developer stands for, and, you know, anybody else that's affiliated with the project.
Awesome, perfect. All right, here's one more actually coming from Micah. What was the hardest about setting up all your mining infrastructure?
Well, to be honest, I've got a developer who has a coding background. I believe the code that he mostly uses is C plus or C plus plus, but that's the majority of the code language that Fennec was written in, if I'm not mistaken. But he was hired, and then additionally, once he was paid to do a job, he saw the value within the project as well, within the group that we have going, how they consistently show up regardless of the market's climate or sentiment. And you know, he's done a lot to support us, you know, on his own time, you know, beyond that, because he is a believer in, you know, what we've been doing, and he's excited about it. So he's, you know, he's semi-hired in a sense. He's very loyal to us, and whenever we need him for a helping hand, he's happy to help free of charge and things like that. So he's a great guy. I'm a strong believer in what he does, and I take pride in the fact that we have him with us. You know, not per se as an official representative, but as a portion of the team that we need to maintain the code base, the servers, and all those sorts of things. And, you know, he does it with pride and joy. You know, a lot of it he does on his own time these days. So it's not like we have to pay him for every single thing that he does. He's here to support. He's here to help. And he's excited about what we've got going. So as far as setting up the mining stuff, I'm not sure if the question was referring to calibrating mining equipment or, you know, configuring it to the network. I rent hardware occasionally for Fennec to support the network's hash rate. Additionally, I have a few admins that are a little more experienced with setting up the rigs and things like that. Mining Trucker, for example, he has a, you know, sort of like a fund or a mini treasury for airdrops for the community, and he just lets some rigs run. As they accumulate, he can redistribute that to the people that seem the most incentivized or the most motivated to make a difference within the group. So it's not something that he's accumulating at this point. It's for the good of the community. So it's great because he supports the network, he supports the community that's active or engaged, that offers ideas, any kind of feedback, any kind of support. And it's, I don't know, I mean, it's a great thing. So I would say if you have questions about setting up mining rigs or how you kind of code the algorithm and integrate it with the coin itself so that mining is possible, you can get in contact with me after the AMA. I'd be happy to redirect you to the people responsible for those sort of things. I'm a little bit more of a delegator and a task manager, and I do a little bit of footwork in my own time to support the project as well. But the best term you could use for me is like a consultant for the entity of Fennec Blockchain and Fennec Foundation. So, you know, if you want to think of me as anything, I was the founder that started it. And at this point, I've stepped into the role of being more of a consultant and a delegator for the project's benefit.
Awesome. You know, a good boss doesn't need to know like how to do it. He just needs to know who can do it. You know.
Well,
yeah.
actually, in Telegram, we have a forum in which pretty much any question regarding the mining will be almost immediately answered. There are several people who are enthusiastically mining. I'm one of them, actually. I do have a rig that is dedicated to the Fennec mining, and all the proceeds from mining I set up a rewards wallet, and I set up every so often the giveaways to the community members that are most active, as a thank you for their activity. It's obviously not a payment, but it's just some kind of acknowledgement of their role in the community. So yeah, I mean, just come into our Telegram, ask the questions. They will be answered. There are several people who will happily help you with that.
Awesome, perfect. Here's one more question, I think, for Yuri. Who's handling like the shipping of the Fennec production stuff, like I mean, your shirt or something? Because if somebody buy, and I mean, we're still in DeFi or we're still in crypto, and people just don't want to like show their addresses to somebody. Are you handling that personal, or are you having like a drop shipper who's like doing everything?
Well, we have two portions. One is Amazon printing, that everything that is done through the Amazon. You basically have your account with Amazon. You just set up the purchase there, and whether you are a Prime member or not, your shipping is handled based on that. And we do not have any relationship other than being a publisher with them. So that's secure through the Amazon servers. Whatever comes through our site, like for example, the limited edition was only available on our website because it included the certificate of with the signatures of every single author and illustrator of the book. Those were original signatures in ink, and the certificates were numbered to match the book. That we handled ourselves, and right now, except 4 partners that are actually invested in the Fennec production, no one else is touching any information whatsoever. So it's just the partners that are handling the shipping on our side. Obviously, it won't be like this forever. Once the volume increases, we will have to hire certain amount of hired help, but security is one of the main things that we uh, care about, and all the sales emails and everything is handled by the 2 partners only, myself and our company treasurer. So we understand that people who are, especially people who are purchasing, paying via Fennec rather than US dollar, it's people who care about decentralization, privacy, and those matters we take very seriously. One of the first things that we did, we actually worked on the mechanism of security and setting up the secure socket level for the website to operate properly with our databases. We use GoDaddy, which is one of the biggest hostings in the United States. We actually hired them to properly set up our secure socket levels so that the information will be protected and so on. We have the firewall set up for our web server, so the information is quite secure, and it's not handled anyone outside of the company. And so far in the company, only the partners are working it. Besides myself, there's only 3 more people who are handling it, and they are all invested in the company. So I hope that answered the questions.
I think so. That did. All right, thank you. I do not see any more questions. So yeah, we're already also at like 1 hour or something. Doesn't matter. I do not have any more questions today. You guys have now 2.5 months or 2 months exciting months, I think, until your EVM chains launch, which is going to be a lot of work
Plus,
for you guys. um,
Yeah.
and we definitely stay in contact because I really like that. I'm going to buy that book in Amazon when it's out, and I will try to I will try to set up the mining. Let's see if I get it done. Just like let it run here, at least in daytime, maybe not in nighttime, but who knows. And yeah, I definitely have an eye a look in this one, especially when you launch on the EVM chains. And now I see one hand is raising. Let me get that hand. So, OG Prime, hi, welcome back.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, TJ?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. I
Awesome.
just wanted to say something. I mean, me and you have done a lot of anime together, TJ. And whenever I see real teams and real projects, I always push them to you because you're legit, man. So thanks for doing this for Fennec.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to also say that I've been in this since pre-launch, and I've known Dangle now for at least 9 months, and this guy's came a long way. And listening to this AMA, you can see that he's very knowledgeable, and this team is great. And then bringing on Mining Trucker was key, I think. So I just want to let everybody know, if you know me, you know that this is safe, and I got a nice size bag in here, and I'm riding the wave with a smile on my face. So just wanted to say that.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, I like the fact that these guys, before you launch in the DeFi space, before you launch on Ethereum, before you launch on BSC, you have that utility ready. You're not gonna just collect money now and then never bring a utility, because I mean, everybody knows how expensive it is, I think, to make a blockchain which is properly working. So and you can now, after 1 year, you bring that utility with it. Everything is there, and I definitely think everybody will just be like, I think, amazed when you go in these AMAs, and we just say, wow, you guys worked, before you come here. So it's good to see. So yeah, thumbs up for me as well.
well, allow me to say thank you very much, guys, for hosting us, for allowing me to speak. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I would like to invite everyone to our Telegram or Twitter channels. Please come in. If you have any questions, we're readily available. We will answer everything and anything you want to know about. We're trying to stay as transparent as possible because I believe in natural growth. I believe that project needs a core support from people who actually understand and know the project and believe in it. So thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
And that goes for me too. I really appreciate the opportunity to have us on. It's been a great experience. I'm looking forward to, listening back over to it on the recording and having it posted in the Telegram under one of our filters so anybody can refer to it over time. I think it was a great AMA. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Like I said, I wish you good luck for the next 2 months. Don't work too hard, but work hard enough to make it successful. And yeah, we keep in touch. And if I have any problems with setting up the mining, I'm just gonna DM you, and we're just gonna get it sorted. So yeah, thanks for coming. And if you want to mention anything else what we forgot, you can do it now.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say thank you again, TJ, to you for hosting this whole thing, and OG Prime to actually making this happen. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
guys.
definitely. Same goes for me.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks everybody also for tuning in.